Hey Carla, I own a small business, but I'm just not sure which tasks I should outsource first. So I'm Carla Singson, and not only do I own an outsourcing company, I also own two small businesses. My very first business that I started 17 years ago is a flower shop. It is a flower shop and a gift shop that I started in my hometown in Davao City, Philippines, and we have started growing it into a franchise where we also sold dealerships and franchises to other locations. And we have over a dozen people that have taken advantage of this business in a box. And so I have a lot of experience growing, operating, and marketing flowers and gifts for your loved ones. So by the way, if you are in Davao City and you need a gift for an upcoming birthday, anniversary, even a corporate gift, definitely let me know and I'll share the link in the description for the actual flower shop website. So aside from that, I also own a small marketing and events company where we serve a lot of nonprofits, corporate brands, and government departments in facilitating their events. And we mostly focus on corporate events, launches, brand activations. This business was born out of my career in the past as an MC. Literally, as a host, I'm the one who greets the guests, who reads the script for the program, and I'm the one that keeps the energy up in the crowd. So as you can see, I'm a little awkward on YouTube because I'm just not used to this, which is a little ironic, but I am doing my best. So thank you so much. And by the way, if you want to see my other cringe videos in outsourcing, definitely click like and subscribe so that you can see and learn about the latest trends in outsourcing. So anyway, I have those two small businesses, and over the years, I have also determined certain roles that were very, very beneficial for me to outsource as a small business owner. Now I know you may have some ideas, you may have heard from other small business owners that this is a good idea to outsource. And so in this video, I will guide you through some of our best practices and some of the best roles and best tasks that you can outsource as a small business owner. So according to an article in SBA.gov, there are over 37% of small businesses that are already doing outsourcing in the United States of America. So these are the business that admitted to outsourcing at least one task or one role in their business. There are just so many tasks and roles that you can benefit from outsourcing. And people are slowly opening up to the idea that, hey, this might be a really great option for us. We can save more money. There's a lot of benefits and advantages to outsourcing to an offshore country. And of course, with the revolution of AI and automations, small business owners are really getting smarter and smarter with choosing the tasks that they want to do in their business. They want to save time, but also they don't have all the time to learn about these new things. So even learning and getting updated with the latest in tech, AI, and automations is something that you can outsource to a more tech fluent and an AI fluent team on the other side of the world, which is something my company does at Proximity Outsourcing. We have a lot of AI fluent, AI empowered managers, social media managers, project managers, client success managers. We help with a lot of the processes of hiring, onboarding, and management to take all of this hassle and headache away from you as a small business owner. So there are certainly a lot of benefits. Number one is the cost savings. For example, in the United States of America alone, it costs the median rate or the median salary, according to Glassdoor.com, for a Lean Six Sigma certified project manager is $104,000 US. And that is their base salary. That would not be including their bonuses, their benefits, and of course, the other risk with employing. There's very limited ways for you to let go of them. So it is not as flexible in terms of what you need as a small business. And it's also not flexible in terms of if you are already scaling too fast or if you want to scale back, then letting go of someone, according to the labor laws in the US might be a little more challenging compared to just hiring an outsourced person from an outsourcing company. So in an outsourcing company as well, the average rate of a Lean Six Sigma certified project manager, like what we charge at my company, Proximity Outsourcing, it will be just under $30,000 a year. And this is someone with the same capacity, with the same skills, that speak English as well as I speak English. Mind you, I started traveling when I was 27, and I actually started living in the States when I was 29. So I've just spoken English like this, and there are a lot of Filipinos like me who speak really good English and who have a lot of basically comfort or experience speaking to the Western market, Americans, Canadians. With that alone, the cost savings alone is such a huge benefit for your small business, because now you can reinvest that money in scaling, marketing, and honestly, as the owner, maybe you can just keep that for yourself. When different people start different businesses with different motivations, so that cost savings alone is a huge benefit. So this is why more and more people will think about outsourcing, and more people who are already outsourcing will outsource more roles. The other benefit is there are not a lot of training costs if you already hire someone who's an expert. And like I said, because the cost is just a third or a fourth of what it would normally cost for you to pay someone or have someone do the same job versus, hiring offshore in outsourcing versus someone in America, there are much less training costs because you're already hiring an expert. And so even the time that you spend in onboarding will be slashed maybe to half or maybe just 25%, especially if you're working with an outsourcing company that knows what they're doing. So you're not going at it alone. You can definitely get help in terms of onboarding, communication, being able to determine the proper expectation and cadence in submitting the projects, submitting the tasks. So there are definitely a lot of advantages to just hiring someone offshore that already knows what they're doing. And on top of that, hiring this person through an outsourcing company that can also help and assist you. So comparing this to hiring someone as an employee, you have to do all of it yourself. You have to onboard them yourself. You have to prepare all of the resources. You have to coach them. So in my experience in my company, our client success managers handles this. And basically the part of the onboarding that should be handled by the client or the business owner is slashed to like at least 25%. So it is a very, very good deal because you will not be overwhelmed and you will not be overworked by just thinking, how am I going to onboard this person? The other benefit for small businesses is the flexibility. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want to let go, if you want more hours or less hours, hiring someone full-time, according to labor laws in America or in Canada, for example, it is not as flexible. So if you need more hours, if you need less hours, if you need them to upskill, if you need them to maybe work on this day and not on that day, there's much less flexibility in that arrangement. But when you work with outsourcing companies, and even if you DIY this and you hire a freelancer off of Upwork or Fiverr, there's much more flexibility that you can get. And not only that, if you work with a company like my company, Proximity Outsourcing, you can even get advice on how you can go about this, because it's not only you trying to provide, say, a PTO or paid time off or an unpaid time off if someone doesn't come to work. If you needed to just maybe offset their hours, if that's more manageable for you, that's good. Now, the opposite, what about the opposite? Or what about if you want more hours from them? So they can also offset that on their other days and also on top, or you can just pay an overtime rate, which the outsourcing company will charge you a very, very fair rate for overtime. So most of all, the benefit with going with an outsourcing company is that you're not going at this alone. You're not just watching YouTube videos and trying to figure it out all by yourself. You have help all throughout your experience with outsourcing. So whatever your issues are with your remote professional, then you can definitely get some opinions, you can definitely get some advice, and you can definitely kind of divide the accountability of trying to manage this person. And that is a huge benefit to your headspace as a small business owner. So let's talk about roles. What are the top roles that are usually outsourced by small business owners? So this is pretty simple. You've probably heard about some of these roles. So we'll just go through 5 very common roles and very common departments that are usually outsourced by small business owners. Number 1 is admin, or like virtual support. So these are like operations type tasks like email management, database management, organizing some paperwork, client intake. So a lot of like recording, a lot of like busy administrative work. That is a very, very common thing to outsource. And basically any small business can use some admin or virtual support work. Some of these roles can also be phone-based. So if you need someone to answer the phone, get some information, if you have a number and there's some inquiries that come during the day, or even at night, if you run a 24-hour, 24/7 customer support thing, then that could also be part of the admin role or support. So I already mentioned it a little bit, but number 2 is customer support, customer success, or client success. Anything that has anything to do with talking to your customers, making sure they're happy, making sure they're satisfied. Even if you're a landscaper or a pest control company or a flower shop or a car rental, you could always use some customer support, customer success, or client success help. And honestly, even if your small business caters to a high net worth individual, like if you are, say, a financial planner for high net worth people, you could still use some client success. So what is the difference? The difference between customer support and client success or customer success is customer support is focusing on reactive tasks. Like if someone asks for their ticket number or their shipping number, or someone has a complaint. So basically you wait for this message to come from your customer and then you deal with it. So they basically have the responsibility of making sure that you don't get a bad review, to make it simple. Now, customer success or client success refers to tasks that are more proactive, really taking care of the relationship, really taking care of the retention, making sure that you guys are getting testimonials, reviews. You can also train your CSM team to be really good at community management if that keeps your clients or your customers more engaged with your brand or with your company. That is also a task under that. So what are the businesses that may benefit from this? So for example, I had a client before that had a car detailing offer, and he had a newsletter that offered discounts. And handling that newsletter can be a task for the customer success manager, and they can take care of engaging that community, maybe doing some holiday promotions or things like that. Another example would be even something as simple as someone who's doing lashes, So someone who's doing like lashes, maybe home service lashes, waxing, or nails. So that person can hire a customer success manager to handle maybe their Instagram DMs or maybe their Yelp page, reply to certain inquiries, follow up with customers that may need another filling or maybe need another round of extension or maybe need to update their subscription in waxing. So it's very helpful because these tasks help with securing not just that everything is organized and that your clients are happy, they actually also help in making more money for your business. So number 3 task or department are financial tasks. So some examples are bookkeeping and tax preparation. So whether you're a small business and you just need a few hours of bookkeeping a month, or you're actually a bookkeeping company or a tax prep company, or if you're a CPA and you need more help, there is a huge rise of bookkeepers that are being hired from the Philippines that are very experienced with Xero, QuickBooks, and a lot of tax prep experience. This is actually pretty surprising because I've seen this trend start in 2024 and it has not really slowed down. There are still more and more people inquiring, coming to us at Proximity Outsourcing, asking about QuickBooks, bookkeepers, and tax prep people. So that's also something to think about, because if you can outsource this task somewhere where it only costs you somewhere between $12 to $15 an hour, and they are all happy, they have great benefits, they just do the work for you, plus you get the flexibility, it is a huge advantage to outsource this part of your business. The next task or department is IT support. So if you're, say, an e-commerce business, or if you're a business that depends on SEO to get your business, or if you have a funnel or a CRM that needs a lot of maintenance or updates, maybe it's time to hire a funnel builder, maybe a WordPress person, a Shopify person if you're using that platform, but someone who can be trusted to handle all of the tech stuff to make sure that maybe your digital storefront or your website or your funnel is performing well so that you can continue to serve your clients. This is especially useful for businesses that use their websites as their 24/7 storefront. It's more than just a brochure. If you're actually selling something there, even if it's digital information, or if, say, you're a freelance psychiatrist, psychologist, or a therapist, if you sell your sessions through your website, your clients can just book their sessions and pay money. That is something that you might need help with. Maybe some IT support, some updating for your funnels, for your marketing that is related to tech. And lastly, of course, this is my favorite, marketing. So you can outsource, as a small business, some marketing tasks, basically tasks that help promote your brand, promote your services, and help you reach a lot of new clients so that you can close new business. Some examples are social media marketing. This is very common, building up your social media platforms. They're helping you out with captions, posting, editing reels, posting these reels, posting YouTube videos. So that's very common. Some business owners want to go on podcasts. So that is also a task. If someone wants to go on podcasts, they can hire someone that can pitch them into these podcasts and continuously promote them so that they can promote their small business in these podcasts. And it's basically your home-based version of speaking on stages. Because if a podcast has an audience of even just 200 people, 200 downloads, that is a pretty big room to speak your message in. So personally, I go on 90-day podcast tours when I'm in the mood, and I just really talk about my brand, talk about my expertise, but also you can find some of my best learnings, messages, and top industry secrets right in this YouTube channel. So please, please, please like and subscribe so that you get first dibs on all of my videos. So those are basically some of the departments, some of the ideas, some of the roles that a lot of small business owners can take advantage of when they finally decide to outsourcing. So according to some studies as well, 24% of small business owners really believe that the number one benefit of outsourcing these tasks to a freelancer or an offshore outsourced remote professional is efficiency. So they have a lot of efficiency. Now they can focus on their core functions. And of course, the business owner is not overwhelmed, they're not burnt out, and most of all, they can focus on cash producing tasks, or they can finally focus on growth for their business. They're not on a revenue plateau. They can finally think about making more money because now they have a reliable team that is not expensive, that helps them with the day-to-day in their business. So if you like this, share this with a friend. It might help them. If you know anyone with a small business, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Thank you.